Good morning. Today I'm going to be showing part one because I'm going to make this into a two-parter and hopefully my phone won't be acting up. That's why I'm trying to do this in two parts. I'm going to get you started on making the crochet spiral blanket. Now I did reach out to Alison Russell's crochet YouTube channel and she did reply back and answered my of me requesting if I can do a video because I ask for permission before I do anything of someone else's work. And Alison Russell's Crochet YouTube channel did answer back and said it was okay for me to give you a tutorial on how I approach the spiral blanket. So today is the day. I'm going to put this in part one. I am using the Mandela Lion Brands yarns because I love the variegated. I love the way the colorway changes. It's a slow change and it really gives you the effect of the spiral blanket. I am also using an H8, which is a 5.00 millimeter, which is recommended for this yarn. Now, just real quick, I'm going to recommend that if you are a tight crocheter, I will go down one hook size. Let me correct myself. I am wrong with that, so I'm bad. So I apologize. If you are a tight crocheter, you go up one hook size. If you are a loose crocheter, you go down one hook size. You can use any yarn you want. You can use the variegated. You can use solids. It's your creation. It's on how you approach on making this beautiful spiral blanket. So whatever you have in your stash, you are welcome to use what you have. There is not anything recommended of what brand or what colorway or anything else. It's what your creative and your inspiration of how you start making this crochet spiral blanket. So I'm going to start. I'm going to do a magic ring, which is yarn over twice with my fingers. I'm going to put my hook under the first and then pull up the second, and I'm going to pull through. Okay, then I'm going to chain 3. Now you can experiment, you don't have to use this count, but I find it that it's really easy. I haven't tried to either go lower or higher as far as how many double crochets, and I am using the US term on how you start your blanket, but I think this is really reasonable. It's easy to follow. It's just as soon as you get past row 3 or round 3, it's a breeze. But I want to do it in steps so you have an understanding and making sure that you're putting your hook in the correct stitch, and also making sure that you are either chaining 1 or chaining 2. And I will specify we're going to do the chaining 1 first, and then when you get to a certain round, you're going to start chaining 2 in between your sets of stitches. Now, when you do your chain 3, and I have a bad habit of this, you have to make sure that chain 3, the third chain, is a little loose, because when you do a slip stitch, it's kind of hard to find, and I have a tendency to pull it tight, so I still have to control my tension when I do the chain 3s. So chain 3, this is the first double crochet. What I want you to do is do 10 more double crochets inside the magic ring. And how you do a double crochet is you yarn over, you insert your hook through the magic ring, you pull up a loop, and then you pull through 2 and you pull through 2. Again, yarn over, insert your hook, draw up a loop, pull through 2 and pull through 2. I'm going to continue this off camera, and I'm going to have a total of 11 double crochets. Once you have your 11 double crochets, now how I find it easy to, when you get to the top of the chain 3, here's your very first double crochet that we made. Okay, I usually look for the top of that stitch. I kind of pinch that stitch, and then it tells me that this next one to my right is actually the top of my chain 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3, and I'm going to chain 3, and you can pull on your tail to tighten up the center. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to make another double crochet in that same space, and I need you to do 2 double crochets in each stitch around, just so. Again, 2 double crochets. All right, I'm going to finish this up and I'll meet you at the end of the round. Okay, I have my 22 double crochets. Now before I take the next step, the colorway on this Lion brand is Warlock, and they have quite a few different variety of colorways and the variegated. So again, this is my go-to anytime I would make a spiral blanket. But again, you can do solids, you can do so many rows to start and then switch over and like I said, create and make your own creation of your crochet spiral blanket. All right, now I have 22 stitches all the way around, and that's what you should have at the end of round 2. Now, here's the double crochet again. I'm going to pinch my finger there, and I'm going to go and get to the top of that chain 3, and I'm going to slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 2. This is the only time you're going to chain 2 at the end of each row or round. So you're going to slip stitch into that next stitch. Oops, I'm out of focus. Here we go. So remember, you have groups of 2 per stitch, and then you have this space in between. So what you're going to do is this very first double crochet. So we're in the groups of 2. We're going to start doing groups of 3. You're going to first slip stitch into that double crochet. You're going to chain 3. That is the first of your 3 double crochets in this first set. In the chain space in between your groups, you're going to do 2 double crochets. Chain 1. You're going to skip this first double crochet again, because actually you're going to be your chain 1 compatible to not going into that stitch. Okay, you're going to then go into the next double crochet and do a double crochet, and then you're going to do 2 double crochets in the next space. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, which is right here. You're going to double crochet in that next double crochet stitch. Again, in the space, you're going to do 2 double crochets. Now, for a stitch marker, I would, until you're comfortable, unless you're comfortable enough, you're going to put a stitch marker at the beginning of that row. So what I want you to do, again, after you do your 2 double crochets in that space, you're going to always chain 1. Skip the next stitch and do a double crochet in the next double crochet, and then 2 double crochets in the chain space. I want you to do that on the remainder of this round, and I'll meet you at the stitch marker and show you what needs to be done. I want to show you something. Now remember, I said there was 2 groups of double crochets, and then you had your little chain space in between. It can get where, let me show you. When I do my next group of 3s, I do my double crochet, and then you'll have where you think you're doing another double crochet in the space here. You're not. You're actually creating another stitch and adding. So if it helps, just pull apart just to show where your groupings are. And here's your space. Okay, that's, you have to go exact right in the space and do 2 double crochets. Chain 1. You go right into the next double crochet here. Pull apart. Now you see there's my 2 stitches. Here's the space. You're going to put 2 double crochets. Chain 1. I'm coming up to the last grouping. So, double crochet. Here's your last space. So you go put 2 double crochets. And you're going to go to the top of that chain 3 where you have your stitch marker, and you're going to slip stitch. Okay. You're going to chain 3. Now, as you look at your sphere here, or your spiral here, you're starting. You start out with 11 stitches. Then we did a group of 2 double crochets per stitch. We wound up with 22. Then we have our groups of 3. Okay. So here's where we joined. All right. Groups of 3, chain 1. Groups of 3, chain 1. Groups of 3, chain 1. Okay, now we're going to do groups of 4 with a chain 1. So you're going to chain 3. You're going to go and double crochet into the next stitch. Nope, hold on. Let me backtrack. See, this is why I like to leave mistakes in, because it gets a little, like I said, it gets a little hairy in the beginning when you start this. So, in that chain 3 where I did the slip stitch, now you have this double crochet here. You're going to slip stitch in that double crochet. Now this is where you chain 3. You do a double crochet in the next double crochet, and then you do 2 double crochets in that chain 1 space. After you do your 2 double crochets in your space, always make sure you chain 1. Now, this very first one here, you're going to skip. So you're going right into the next double crochet, which is right here. And then you're going to double crochet, and then you go put 2 in the space. Chain 1. Skip this first column or this first stitch here. You're going to go right into that next double crochet. Next double crochet, 1 double crochet, and 2 in the chain 1 space. Chain 1. I want you to continue doing that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm going to show you another boo-boo I make. So I like to keep my mistakes in, and if it happens to you, that's fine. You always learn by your mistakes, but at least with this, you can manipulate the stitch that it wouldn't, you can correct itself. So I did my chain, 2 double crochets in the chain space, chain 1 space, chain 1. Now I'm going into my next double crochet, next double crochet. I didn't do a chain 1 here. Okay, so you'll have to go right in, do your 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then you'll jump right into your next group. Chain 2, 2 double crochets, chain 1. You have to make sure you do your chain 1. That's how you get your spiral and start the effect of the spiral. Again, you're not going into this first stitch here. You go right into the next stitch you see, which is right here. Double crochet, double crochet, and in the chain 1 space, 2 double crochet, chain 1. Okay, again, next double crochet, next double crochet. You got the space here, you do 2 double crochets. When you get to the end of the round, make sure you chain that, make that chain 1. You're going to go to the top of the chain 3. You're going to slip stitch. You're going to slip stitch into the next double crochet. You're going to chain 3. Now, we had groups of 4 here with a chain 1 in between. Now you're going to do the set of grouping of 5. So, this chain 3, you're going to the next stitch. Here's my double crochet. Here's number 3. In that chain space, 2 more. Chain 1. And that's what your next grouping is of a chain 5. You're going to skip this first stitch here. You're going to go right to the next double crochet you see, and you're going to do a double crochet and a double crochet in the next stitch and a double crochet in the next stitch, 2 in the chain 1 space. Chain 1. And that's what you're going to do all the way around. Now, I'm going to end this video because my phone is not capturing. From what I can see, it's starting to darken up, and I don't want to mess this up here. So this is going to be part 1. If I have to make part 2 and 3, I will do so just to clarify everything. So what I want you to do is I want you to continue with the groups of 5. At the end of row 5, you're going to make sure at the ending of making the 2 double crochets in that last chain space, you chain 1, slip stitch at the top of the chain 3, slip stitch into the next double crochet, chain 3, and then you're going to do your groups of 6. So you're going to double crochet 4 in the stitches there, 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space. That's your grouping of 6. Chain 1, skip that first. As soon as you get to that next, so you're always skipping this very first one here, okay? You're not going in right here. You're going into the next stitch right here that you're going to see. You're going to do that. I want you to do up to 10 rows, 10 rounds. Now, if your spiral is starting to do this, okay, it's starting to bow in, instead of doing the chain 1, switch to now doing chain 2. That's the only difference that's going to happen here, and now we'll make it lay out flatter. So I'm going to work on this. I'm going to get up to round 10. I'm going to do these part 2 of this, see how everyone is doing. If you have, again, questions, comments, or having any issues, please leave them in the comments section down below. Please keep it positive. And then I'll answer your questions, and I will get the next set of video ready, and we will continue this. So I want to take it into steps. So again, the next grouping here, and I'll do one more set here, and then I'm going to end part 1 of this video. I already did my chain 1. I'm going to go into the next double crochet. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then in the chain 1 space I put 2, so there's 4 and 5, chain 1. So continue with your grouping of 5, so it's round 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and in the next couple days I would put together part 2 to show you where everything and how everything is laying and where I started my chain 2. Everyone have a good day. I will talk to you soon. Take care, and again, leave all your questions and comments in the comments section down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Please share the video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and I look forward to having our next conversation and to continue this tutorial. Take care and have an excellent day.